English Easy Podcast.
Hello, learners. Welcome back to English Easy Podcast, your partner to learning English.
It is so great to be here for another deep dive.
Yeah, and today we have a really special mission. We are digging into a stack of materials all about the science of focus.
And this is specifically designed for you, our intermediate English learners.
Exactly, because you know the feeling. You sit down at your desk with just the absolute best intentions.
Oh, we all know the feeling.
Right. Your notebook is open, your pen is ready, and you tell yourself, okay, I am finally going to study my English vocabulary today.
And then what happens?
Well, somehow, like 20 minutes later, you are 3 pages deep into a forum about, I don't know, how to properly season a cast iron pan.
Or you're just watching a random video about cooking eggs.
Yes, exactly. Right. And immediately, that heavy feeling of guilt just sets in.
Oh, it really does.
You start telling yourself that you're just lazy or that you simply lack the discipline to master a new language. So why do we automatically blame ourselves?
Well, I mean, it is such a universal experience. The guilt is usually the heaviest part of the entire process, right?
Right. You just feel awful about it.
But what is truly fascinating when you look at the sources on the cognitive science of focus is that this has absolutely nothing to do with laziness.
Wait, really? Nothing at all?
Nothing. It is not a character flaw. When you find yourself, completely derailed by that cooking video, you are actually experiencing a biological reaction to cognitive overload.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, your brain is simply overstimulated.
Overstimulated, meaning like the environment is demanding more processing power than your brain can actually supply at that moment.
Precisely. I mean, think about what a modern learner's environment actually looks like right now.
Right. It's a lot.
You have your laptop open with, 10 different tabs?
At least 10.
Your phone screen lights up silently every few minutes with a new notification. Plus, you have background noise from the street, maybe a television in the next room.
Yeah, it's constant.
Your brain is an incredible supercomputer, but it is subconsciously trying to process all of those inputs simultaneously.
Oh, I see.
So eventually, the system just gets overwhelmed. It essentially waves a white flag. It seeks out something easy and passive, like that video about eggs, just to give its processing centers a break.
That really reframes the whole experience for me. So the lack of focus isn't a malfunction. It's actually a protective mechanism.
Exactly.
It reminds me of that really powerful analogy from our sources about trying to listen to someone whisper in a packed football stadium.
Oh, I love that one. It is the perfect way to visualize it.
Right.
If you are standing in a stadium with 50,000 screaming fans and the person next to you is whispering a secret, you cannot hear them.
Obviously not.
But you wouldn't blame your ears. You wouldn't stand there and say, my hearing is broken, or I am too lazy to listen.
No, you just say it's too loud.
You would acknowledge that the environment is simply too loud for the signal to reach you.
So for you listening right now, the English language rules you're trying to learn, that's the whisper.
Yes.
And your buzzing, notification-filled environment, that is the stadium crowd. So knowing that a lack of focus is just your brain asking for a break from too much noise, we have to look at how to actually turn down the volume.
Which brings us right to your physical space.
Okay, so if my brain is overstimulated by everything around me, how do I actually go about fixing my study environment?
Well, it starts with recognizing that focus is not just an internal mental state. It is highly dependent on your external geometry.
External geometry, what does that mean practically?
You need to construct a distraction-free zone. Now, I know that sounds intimidating, but it doesn't require a private fancy office.
Good, because most of us don't have that.
Right. It literally just requires a clean surface, a pair of headphones to block out auditory triggers, and shutting down all digital pop-ups.
I really want to dig into the clean surface part, because I think a lot of people, myself included, really underestimate visual clutter.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if I have a stack of mail, a coffee cup from yesterday, and 3 different books on my desk, my brain is technically scanning all of those objects even while I'm looking at my laptop, right?
Yes, your visual cortex is constantly mapping your surroundings. Every single out-of-place object in your peripheral vision represents a micro-decision.
A micro-decision?
Yeah, your brain is constantly asking in the background, should I open that mail? Should I wash that cup?
Oh, wow. So I'm working before I even start working.
Exactly. You are burning precious cognitive fuel before you even read a single word of English. A clean desk eliminates those micro-decisions completely.
That makes a lot of sense. So a clean physical space naturally creates a clear mental space because you've removed all that visual noise.
Precisely.
But let's look at the reality for many adult learners. A lot of you listening right now are probably studying at the kitchen table.
Very common.
You have family members walking around or roommates watching television. Visual clutter is one thing, but how do you handle human interruptions when you don't have a private study room?
You have to establish boundaries. And communication is really your best tool here. Often, our families interrupt us simply because they don't realize we are trying to do deep work.
That's a great point. Let's actually demonstrate what that sounds like.
Oh, a role play.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for a quick dialogue simulation so you, our listener, can hear how to politely but firmly ask for quiet time in English.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's say we share an apartment. You are on the sofa watching a movie, and I really need the kitchen table to study.
Sounds realistic. Okay, I've got the TV volume turned up. I'm totally distracted.
Right. So I would walk in and say, "Excuse me, I really need to focus on my English study for just 15 minutes. Could we please have some quiet time until my timer goes off?"
And as a reasonable roommate, I'd say, oh, my apologies. I didn't realize. I'll put my headphones on right now.
It is a simple, highly effective interaction. You state the specific duration, 15 minutes, so they know it isn't forever. And you clearly state what you need. Protecting your environment from both objects and people is the absolute foundation of deep work.
Because without that foundation, any advanced study technique you try is going to fail.
Now, I want to challenge you on something here, especially regarding that 15-minute time frame we just mentioned.
Okay, bring it on.
I hear you on the clean desk and the quiet room, but let's say my space is perfect. I am incredibly motivated. I want to master English fast to get a promotion at work.
Great goal.
So I decide to memorize 50 new vocabulary words a day and watch 10 grammar videos back to back. I'm putting in 2 hours of hard work every night.
Okay.
From a sheer numbers perspective, isn't that objectively more productive than studying for just 15 minutes? I mean, it feels like I'd be leaving progress on the table if I stopped so soon.
I know it feels productive, but you are falling into the classic trap of confusing motion with progress.
Motion with progress.
Yes. When you try to force 50 words into your short-term memory in a single evening, you are experiencing cognitive bottlenecking.
That doesn't sound good.
It isn't. Your hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for consolidating new memories, it can only process so much novel information at once.
So it's basically the illusion of learning. It's like running at full speed on a treadmill, right?
That is the perfect analogy.
You are sweating, your heart rate is up, you feel like you are working incredibly hard, but you haven't actually moved an inch forward.
That is exactly what is happening biologically. You are exhausting yourself. But because you aren't giving the brain time to actually build the neural pathways, most of those 50 words will be completely gone by tomorrow morning.
Wow. So I'm just wasting my time.
Pretty much. Real, durable learning happens in thin, consistent layers. It is a slow chemical process, not a rushed data transfer.
So for the busy professional listening right now, someone who might only have a tiny window of free time between finishing work and cooking dinner, what does an optimal layered session actually look like?
It looks like 15 minutes of singular depth. Forget the marathon session.
Just 15 minutes.
Just 15. You sit at your clean desk and you pick one tiny objective. Maybe it's just 5 new business vocabulary words.
Okay, 5 words.
You look at them, you say them out loud, you construct a practical sentence for each one, and you review them. And that is the entire session.
Saying them out loud is crucial too. When you physically articulate the words, you engage different motor pathways in the brain.
Exactly.
Which creates a much stronger memory trace than just reading silently. And actually, there's another fantastic physiological tip from our sources related to movement.
Oh, about the biological reset.
Yeah. If you hit a wall during those 15 minutes and feel your focus slipping, you physically stand up. You walk around the room while repeating those 5 words.
Yes. Moving the body shifts your nervous system. It increases blood flow to the brain and helps transition you out of that overwhelmed state.
It's like shaking up a snow globe and just letting the flakes settle.
Exactly. It is a biological reset button.
So we are trading noise for depth. Slowing down the input actually speeds up the long-term retention.
Always.
15 minutes of deep, focused engagement will always beat an hour of distracted, exhausted scanning.
It definitely will. But the real challenge isn't doing the 15 minutes once.
Right.
It is doing it consistently, day after day. Which brings us to the absolute biggest obstacle in adult learning.
Let me guess. The misconception of willpower.
I got it.
Yes, the willpower trap. So many of us think, well, if I just try harder, if I'm just a stronger person, I can force myself to focus every single night.
And that is a recipe for complete burnout. Willpower is not a permanent character trait.
It's not.
No, it is a physiological resource that depletes throughout the day. It is exactly like the battery on your smartphone.
Oh, I see.
Every time you make a decision at work, every time you navigate traffic, every time you resist eating a donut in the break room, you drain that battery a little bit more.
So by 8 p.m., when you finally sit down to learn English, your battery is at like 2%.
Exactly.
Of course, you end up watching the cooking video. You literally do not have the mental energy left to force yourself to study.
Precisely. Which is why highly successful people do not rely on willpower to achieve complex goals. They rely on systems.
Let's elevate this concept and look at it through the lens of a massive corporation or even daily personal finance, because the parallels here are just incredible.
They really are.
A successful CEO does not rely on their daily willpower to make sure the company's thousands of employees get paid on time.
Never. I mean, the cognitive load would be impossible.
Right.
They use automated systems like enterprise accounting software to process the payroll. The system does the heavy lifting so the CEO can focus on high-level strategy.
Or look at personal finance. If you try to use sheer willpower to save $500 a month, meaning every single day you have to actively choose not to spend money, you will eventually have a weak moment and buy something you don't need.
It's inevitable.
But if you set up a system like an automatic transfer that moves the money into an investment account the second your paycheck arrives, the friction is just gone.
Exactly. You don't need willpower because the system made the right choice for you automatically.
It operates entirely in the background. And your English study habits need to be structured the exact same way. You need a system that acts like a conveyor belt.
I love that image.
A conveyor belt carrying a heavy box of grammar rules and vocabulary. You don't have to deadlift that box from the floor every single day. You just step onto the belt and it moves you forward.
That's brilliant. So how do we actually build this automated learning conveyor belt?
Well, you build it in stages, right? Over a few weeks, starting with zero friction. Let's map out a systematic weekly plan for our learners.
Let's do it. Week 1.
Week 1 is solely about establishing the habit loop. You attach a tiny English task to something you already do automatically.
Okay, give me an example.
For example, 5 minutes of listening to an English podcast while you eat breakfast.
Ah, I see. Because you don't need willpower to eat breakfast, so the English listening just piggybacks on that existing behavior.
Exactly. Then, in week 2, you incrementally increase the cognitive weight.
Okay, making it a bit heavier.
Right. You add 10 minutes of reading a short article right before bed. You already go to bed every night, so you tie the reading to that environmental cue.
And once that feels natural, what does week 3 look like?
By week 3, your brain is no longer resisting the study time. The conveyor belt is running smoothly.
Nice.
Now, you introduce your 15 minutes of complex application. This is where you might analyze a financial news report in English or write an email for your business.
Because you built the system gradually, you are doing complex, deep work without draining your daily willpower battery.
Exactly. Relying on gentle, automatic systems instead of brute mental force, it completely changes the game.
It really does.
It is exactly how intermediate learners finally break through that plateau to reach advanced fluency.
And, part of reaching that advanced fluency is having the precise vocabulary to articulate these complex ideas, whether you are analyzing your own habits or sitting in a corporate boardroom.
Which is the perfect transition into our active language segment.
Yes, let's get into it.
We are going to break down 7 high-level vocabulary words that are central to the science of focus, but are also incredibly useful in business and personal finance.
The words are overstimulate, exhausted, cluttered, interruption, myth, intention, and willpower.
These are powerful, descriptive words that will instantly elevate your professional communication. So we want this to be dynamic.
Very dynamic.
We will explain the context, provide a sentence, and I want you, the listener, to actually speak the sentence out loud wherever you are right now.
Remember, articulating the words physically builds that stronger neural pathway.
Let's begin with the first word, overstimulate. We know it means overwhelming the brain with too much input.
Right. And in a macroeconomic context, analysts often talk about an overstimulated economy.
Oh, that's a great usage.
Yeah, which happens when there is too much rapid trading, too much newly printed money, and the market becomes chaotic and prone to a crash.
Okay, I'm going to say our practice sentence, and I want you to say it out loud with us. Ready? Constant scrolling overstimulates the brain.
Give it a try.
It feels different when you actually say it, right? You're building muscle memory. Let's move to the second word. exhausted.
This means extremely tired, completely drained of physical or mental energy.
In the corporate world, burnout is a major issue. A financial analyst might feel completely exhausted after auditing complex budget spreadsheets for 10 hours straight.
It is a total depletion of resources.
Here is the sentence. Say it out loud with me. After switching apps all day, I felt completely exhausted.
Excellent.
Our third word is cluttered. This means messy, disorganized, and filled with unnecessary items.
We talked about a cluttered desk earlier, but think about a cluttered financial portfolio.
Oh, interesting.
If you have 20 different random investments with no clear strategy, the data is so cluttered that you can't even calculate your actual return on investment.
Let's practice. Speak up. Her cluttered desk made it difficult to concentrate.
Spot on.
Word number 4, interruption. An event that breaks your concentration or stops a process in motion.
In a high-stakes business negotiation, a constant interruption like someone's phone ringing disrupts the flow of the conversation and can prevent a critical deal from closing.
Say this one out loud. He couldn't finish the report because of constant interruptions.
Great work.
Word 5, myth. A widely held but false belief or idea.
The financial world is full of these. For instance, the myth that you need to be wealthy before you can start investing.
Right.
Or, in our context today, the myth that deep focus is just a natural talent you are born with.
Let's articulate it. It is a myth that focus comes naturally to everyone.
Perfect.
Word number 6, intention. This is a powerful one. It means having a deliberate aim, a clear and conscious purpose for your actions.
Financial advisors always talk about spending with intention. Instead of buying things impulsively out of habit, you consciously direct your capital toward assets that build your future wealth.
Say it with purpose. She approached her studies with clear intention.
Fantastic.
And our final word, willpower. The mental strength used to control your actions and overcome impulses.
And as we've established today, treating willpower as an endless resource is dangerous. A business cannot scale on the CEO's willpower alone. It scales on infrastructure and systems.
Final practice sentence. Say it loud. Relying on willpower alone will inevitably lead to burnout.
Really well done.
Now, let's lock those words into your memory with a rapid-fire interactive quiz. I will ask the question, and I want you to literally shout the answer out if you know it.
Let's see how well the concept stuck.
Question 1. What is the specific term for when your brain has received way too much digital information and simply shuts down the ability to concentrate? Shout it out.
Did you get it?
If you said overstimulated, you are right on the money.
Perfect. Is that biological white flag?
Okay, question 2. What do we call a widespread but completely false belief? For example, the idea that you can just force yourself to concentrate without a proper system.
Think about it.
If you guessed a myth, you nailed it. Growing this specific vocabulary is like adding high-precision tools to your mental toolbox.
It really is. It allows you to diagnose your own habits and communicate complex strategies in the boardroom.
But, having the tools, having the distraction-free desk, and having the 15-minute system, none of it matters if we don't address the core engine of human motivation.
Ah, yes. The brain requires a why.
This is the critical missing piece. We can optimize the environment all day long, but if the task lacks intrinsic meaning, the brain will always look for an exit.
Exactly. Your brain is a highly efficient energy manager. It will not expend the massive amount of calories required to learn English grammar rules if it does not see a clear, tangible return on that investment.
Right.
When you study just because you feel guilty or just to check a box on a productivity app, there is no real meaning. And when there is no meaning, the brain actively resists the work.
So we have to leave you with a slightly provocative thought to ponder today. What if your inability to focus on your English textbook has absolutely nothing to do with your brain's capacity and nothing to do with your messy desk?
That's a big question.
What if it is simply a glaring signal that you haven't vividly connected your daily language learning to your ultimate life goals?
It forces you to get brutally honest with yourself. Why are you putting yourself through this process? Are you learning English so you can confidently negotiate international contracts?
Maybe.
Are you learning it so you can relocate your family to a new country? Are you learning it so you can travel independently without fear?
When you take that massive, deeply personal goal and explicitly connect it to your daily 15-minute study system, the friction disappears.
It vanishes.
You no longer have to force the focus. Your brain recognizes the value of the task and says, this 15 minutes of vocabulary directly funds our future. Let's get to work.
Focus behaves exactly like a muscle, but But purpose is the protein that allows that muscle to actually grow stronger.
To help you build both that muscle and that sense of purpose, we have a specific weekly challenge for you.
Okay, listen closely.
I want you to take 3 of the advanced vocabulary words we practiced today. For instance, intention, system, and overstimulated. Write 3 highly original sentences applying those words directly to your biggest personal or financial goal. Write them out by hand and tape that piece of paper directly to your newly cleaned, distraction-free desk.
It is a brilliant exercise because it merges the tactical language practice with the deep psychological motivation you need to sustain the habit.
We have covered some truly transformative ground today, from the cognitive mechanisms of overstimulation to the business architecture of automated systems.
That's been a great discussion.
We want to warmly thank you for sharing your time and joining us for this deep dive. Keep building those gentle, friction-free systems and trust that your capacity for deep work is expanding every single day.
You are equipping yourself with the right tools, and the consistent application of those tools will yield incredible dividends.
The next time you sit down to study and you feel that sudden, overwhelming urge to click away and watch a random video, just pause. Do not diagnose yourself as broken or lazy.
You are not a faulty machine.
You simply need to clear the visual clutter, step off the exhausting treadmill, tune out the noise of the stadium, and remind yourself exactly why you started this journey in the first place. You know your destination. Keep your eyes on the road.